Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another market close. It is currently Tuesday, February 27th, 3:45 p.m. Is this month a leap month? Yeah, February 29th, or a leap year, whatever you call it. So we got 2 days left of February. 2 days left of February, folks. Then March 1st, we've got Friday, and we are going to be into the new month of 2024. A lot of stuff happening today. Number one, Apple has pretty much taken the day in terms of the biggest news of the day, biggest breaking news. We're going to talk about that in a second. It has implications on them and has implications on Tesla. Apple and Tesla both up right now because of that news that dropped. So we're going to talk about that. After that, obviously, Robinhood surging past $16. Right now, I'm looking at Robinhood. It is at what? 16 something. 16.20, I believe, which is, just incredible. 16.18 right now. Hit a high of 16.29 today, so we're going to be talking about them as well. Bitcoin just below 57,000, 56,983. It stayed at 57.5 for a good part of the day. Right now at 56,982. All the crypto stocks did pretty well. Some of them sold off a little bit, but still a pretty good day. S&P 506, that's relatively flat for the day. And then SoFi, 7% on the day for SoFi, which has been a very, very, very incredible day for SoFi. It finally kind of broke out of that really 8 to 8:30 rut that it was in for a long time. Bitcoin right now right above 57,000. On top of that, we have earnings today, folks. We have Rocket Lab. We have Beyond Meat. We have Lemonade Insurance. We have Space Virgin Galactic. I know that word virgin very intimately. Then we have First Solar, which is, I believe it's like an Enphase type of company, microinverters company. I could be wrong about that, but they're a solar company. And then we have Splunk as well. And then Kava, that food. I don't know if you guys have eaten that food before, but that food as well. Let me know in the chat which one you guys want to listen to. I think Rocket Lab's probably the most fun out of all those to listen to. I've never heard any of these CEOs talk before on an earnings call, so let me know, and we will watch all of those. All right, let's get into the market close. John Stevens, Aditya, Shem Pasta, Bay Ray, hello, Jager Floats, Midwest, Nick, Ian, Broccoli Bob, Jeremy, Astrakis, Rob, Kaiser, David, Smokey, P. Shesh, Bot, Dominic, Daryl, Kaiser. Kaiser says, my meat is beyond. Oh my gosh, that's Tim, Nick, Austin, Creepo, GOS, Sam, Solid, Arlie. Thank you all for being here. All right, let's get into it. Kelly says, hi, my power is out. Oh man, that sucks. All right, well, I'm happy you can still join the stream. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Kelly, thanks for being here. Al Tao, Al Rodriguez, Dragos. All right, so is Titan announcement in March? I think Titan announcement is in March in Palantir. We'll talk about them in S&P 500 as well. I'll have a couple updates on that. The DoD said they would announce it from January to March, so we have another month left. Hopefully they announce it. If not, it might just get delayed until April or May. All right, let's start off with Apple. I think that's the biggest news for the day, and then we'll keep going from there. So here's the headline we have on Apple right now. This news broke like 2 hours ago, and immediately on this news, you had Wall Street pick up Apple, and you also had Wall Street pick up Tesla on this news. So the breaking news from Bloomberg is that Apple has officially decided to quit completely their electric car efforts. They are now doubling down, apparently, on generative AI. And I think we all knew this was happening. At some point, we probably thought that Apple was not going to forever try to work on a car that didn't even sort of really have production value. They were rumored to work with Kia. They were rumored to work with a bunch of different manufacturers. At one point, remember that Tesla got so desperate, Elon, in 2018, that he tried to get Tim Cook to buy Apple. And Tim Cook did not take the meeting. And I think that worked out for humanity better than Apple owning Tesla. I don't think that would have been the best thing in the world, but it did get really rough. So if Tesla almost went bankrupt and had to sell, the idea that Apple, not necessarily would go bankrupt, but the idea that Apple would successfully be able to create an electric vehicle that's autonomous, because if it's not autonomous, Apple can't be the second best product, right? It has to be the best in everything. Then it would be a failure for Apple. So they've officially decided to stop working on the decade-old, in this case, it's actually called Project Titan, and employees on some car teams will move to Apple's AI division. Now, as soon as this happened, Apple right here spiked up 1%. You can see that big green candle right there. Street was excited that Apple stopped spending resources. Now, I don't know how many billions of dollars they wasted on this thing. I would imagine it has to be close to 10, 20 billion, but they have officially stopped worrying about this stuff. Generative AI seems to be much bigger of an opportunity, and we've talked about generative AI on the show in regards to what Apple is trying to do. And one of the core things that Apple is trying to do with generative AI ultimately is You guys see the screen right here? Yeah, you can see the screen. Or you should be able to see the screen. Is the screen share not working right now? Yeah, screen share is not working. Okay, kind of weird. StreamYard's being a little weird. I'll pull it up in a second. In the context of generative AI, we know that Apple is introducing a couple things with the iPhone in regards to Apple 16 or iPhone 16 and what Siri is going to be like. We know that Apple's working on their own proprietary LLMs, and we know that Apple has a ton of job postings as well for deep AI and machine learning experts that went live about 3 months ago in December. And they're hiring like crazy for Gen AI. So whatever Apple's going to do, it's going to be something in generative AI. It's likely not going to be in the cars. And that's why the street got very excited today. Tesla ended down for the day a little bit. Tesla right now, we got 10 minutes till the market closes. Tesla at 199. It was up at 204. The news got them excited, but then kind of sold off throughout the end of the day. Here now at 199. Okay, let me see if I can share this clip on YouTube, and then I'm going to fix the screen share thing. This is a little bit of talk of Apple and Alphabet. Let's take a look at this, and then I'll fix screen share in a second. All right.
Alphabet's cheap. How do you know it's cheap? How do you know it's cheap?
Well, when you look at Google or Alphabet, I guess
You call it whatever you want.
I'll call it that. I will tell you that it trades at a discount to the market right now.
What's its forward? It's 24.
18,
No, it's forward. It doesn't trade at a discount. It still trades at a premium.
Slight.
It's at like 19 times. It's like 19 times.
19,
Yeah.
yes.
If you believe the numbers, because
Well,
they haven't
listen.
been able to deliver on the numbers.
Their healthy fundamentals
It's only
have
cheap
been
if they're not Bud Light.
overshadowed by management missteps.
I'll come to you in a
right?
sec, Josh. Hang on.
I think there's concerns about reliability in their AI models. You type some things in, and some unexpected things come out. I would call that a management misstep, right? So you've seen a little bit of backup. There's long-term concerns about the moat around their cloud computing business, and lack of progress on operational efficiency. But it is one of the best positioned companies to capitalize on AI if they get their house in order. And you could take me back well over a year ago when we were saying some of the same negative things about Meta, okay? And they got their house in order. There's room there. I'm telling you, there's operational leverage in that business, and I'm comfortable being overweight that in our growth portfolio.
Okay, Josh, you wanted to say?
I fully agree with what Rob is saying on Alphabet, and the parallels to Meta should not be lost on the audience. Meta looked like it was finished at the low. The low was like Jimmy Cramer after the earnings on the air, like basically apologizing for being bullish on it. But the bulls were right. Jim was ultimately right. And, Meta was in that place for a variety of reasons, and it's different reasons why Alphabet's there. They have not done as much as Meta has done to quote unquote streamline or get fit. And as we talked about yesterday, there are probably some problematic ideas circulating around the headquarters that have nothing to do with running a business successfully. But they're still extremely profitable. And they have like a lot of talent that's not Sundar, Ruth being a really great example. And she seems as though she wants to get more aggressive cutting. Look at what they started to do with the other bet stuff.
So what's happening here, and I think what we're going to see a lot more analysts get into, is this idea that there are other opportunities in the broader market that make you feel like Meta might actually be Google or Google might be Meta at 88, which is going to be kind of interesting to see, how that ends up playing out here. Okay, you guys, you guys can see Webull from my screen. It's so weird. So on my other computer, I'm looking at Webull right now, and I'm controlling it via my other computer. That's so weird. My Mac won't show it, but my other computer is showing it. All right, so we'll just control Webull from my second screen today, and we'll look at it from there. So is Google at actually $88? Is Google Meta when it was 88? I don't really think so. I think Sundar Pichai has to do a lot more cost-cutting measures to really be able to make that happen. But if it is, then it's a good opportunity. The only thing is Google's still up 50% from last year. Meta was down 80% when it was $88. And I think that's kind of the core difference from a valuation perspective. If Google cuts a ton of employees, maybe we do see some more momentum for Google the way we saw for Meta, or if they just, do a dividend or something like that. Bitcoin right now, 56,791. So we see it's starting to come down a little bit right now. It's at 57 for the majority of the day. Let's look at some of the crypto stocks right here. So here are the crypto stocks that we're looking at. Robinhood 1623 up 4.07% right now. We have MicroStrategy 870 up 9%, Ethereum 3,200, Bitcoin 56,000, CleanSpark $20. It was at 23. It fell a little bit for the day. So, I mean, it's still up like 40% in the past couple of days. So you could kind of understand why it's down. And then Coinbase at 198 as well. So that's what we're seeing right now. Let me know, guys, in the chat. Is the screen kind of laggy, the Weeble that you're looking at? Because if it is, I'm literally just going to log out and reset on this computer. It'll take 2 seconds. Because I don't want it to be this laggy. So it is working on a separate screen, but if it's lagging, let me know. Like when I click something, if it lags, because it looked like it's lagging for me, but I'm not exactly sure. Peace Dash, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says Meta at 88 will go down as the best bet in the history of the market. Mega cap, then nearly 6x in 15 months. We should stop comparing to Meta. Yeah, I agree. I think it's different. Okay, yes, laggy. All right, give me 2 seconds. I'm literally going to leave StreamYard. I'll be right back, and I think that should fix the problem. All right, so I'm reloading right now. All right, so I'm back. Let's see. Will Weeble share? It's not going to share. All right, so I know what's going to happen. I know this has happened last time. I'm going to have to reset my Mac real quick. So here we go. Here we do. I'm going to play a second clip right here. This is more of a macro clip around what's going on with the broader market. Restart my Mac, and then it'll work. And I should do this right now because 4 p.m. we have earnings, and I want to make sure that earnings actually don't go horrible. So here we go. Let me start this clip. I'll share it right now. I'll reset my computer, and then I will be right back. All right, here we go.
Alignment Partners Managing Director, Ali McCartney. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
What does that mean?
That's so weird, dude. That's so weird. It went to black screen. I thought the video would stay. I don't know why it's not cooperating today. That is so weird. That is so... Okay, hold on real quick. Let me go to Safari, and we're going to do this through Safari. I'm sorry about this, guys. I don't know why it's being ridiculous today. If I open StreamYard through Safari and see if it opens, that might solve the problem. Let's see if it actually solves it. If not, I don't know. We're going to have to use the lagging one today. Nothing better than a Mick claiming Apple makes the best products and his Mac breaks during the stream. Oh, wow. Look at this. On Safari, it says it does. Okay, well, it says your browser does not support Safari or StreamYard. All right, I'm going to open Firefox. We'll use Firefox instead. I think my computer's just like, dude, you've been streaming on me for so long. You don't even take me out to dinner. Like, all you do is use me. And now it's like trying to teach me a lesson. All right, here we go. We're going to do it this way and go from there. We should be doing it in time for earnings. Let's see. We got Rocket Lab. That's the big one today. Of course, two-factor authentication. Why not? Why wouldn't I have to sign in via my phone? Of course. Why not? We got to make sure that I'm not trying to steal my own account. You know, that wouldn't be good. All right, so we're into it via Firefox, and now on Firefox, if this shares, we should be good to go. We should be good to go in a second. Here we go. Omit, enter studio. Yeah, that's not working either, dude. That's so bad. That's so bad, dude. That is so weird. All right, we're just gonna use the old one. Yeah, there's an echo too. We're gonna be using this Weeble today, guys. It's 4 p.m. Market is now closed. We're gonna be doing earnings from this one. There's gonna be a little lag here. The only way to do this is to restart the entire computer, and I'm not gonna literally restart my Mac just now. But the market is closed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4 p.m. Tuesday, February 27th. Markets now closed. All right, we got Robinhood ending the day 16.25, up 4.32% on the day. Magnificent Seven, Apple, it's up 182. The reason Apple's up is because of that Bloomberg news that they had. Microsoft is up as well, 407. It's basically flat, but it's green for the day. Meta, 487. Google, 140. Google got from 137. Google was $1 away from its 52-week low. So Google right now at 140. Amazon, 173. Nvidia, 787. And then Tesla, 199.63. Bumble's earnings. I thought Bumble was on the list as well. Here's our watch list. I already made our watch list right here. So as you can see, we have Splunk earnings today, Space, Virgin Galactic, Beyond Meat, Rocket Lab, Lemonade, Kava, and First Solar. These are the ones we have today. I'll add Bumble to that list. Bumble as well. Okay, so we got Bumble as well on that list, and we will have these guys ready to go. Redfin. Okay, so Redfin, I forgot about that one. Redfin is the real estate company. No, that's Matterport. But Redfin is in real estate, right? Am I wrong on that? Redfin. Oh, eBay. We have eBay as well. All right, eBay. Forgot about eBay. The thing I was looking at, I thought it had all the earnings, but I guess it didn't. Because I just copied this graphic I was looking at. All right, so let's see. We'll also pull up CNBC here and see what our earnings way out. We got a ton of earnings lined up. Tons and tons and tons of earnings lined up here. We're probably listening to Rocket Lab. That'll be the main one we listen to. And let me know in the chat which one you guys own out of all these. Which one do you guys actually own out of all these? It's probably going to take us 3 minutes. These numbers do not come out at 4 p.m. So we're going to have to chill out here for a couple minutes before we get them. I have all of them lined up, have all the websites ready, and then we'll see. Did Lemonade post earnings? Not yet. Everyone's still waiting for these guys. And there's no after hours movement. All of these are basically flat, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. So because all these are flat, we're not seeing a lot of movement there yet. Is Marathon today? Wait, Marathon is today? I thought it was Thursday. That's a big one. Is Marathon? Someone confirm if Marathon's today. If it's Marathon, then yeah, that's another big one we got to look at. CPNG. Okay, we'll do CPNG as well. I forgot about that one. CPNG. Coupang. Marathon is tomorrow. Okay, cool. All right, so no numbers yet. I'm pulling up CNBC and YouTube TV and seeing if there's anything there, if they have any numbers, but so far, nothing yet. We still have a ton of earnings this week that are so important, dude. We have Snowflake. We have a couple on Friday that I'm forgetting right now, but there are also going to be a big Celsius. That's another big one that we have. So we still have a ton of earnings. We had all the retailers today that were pretty good. Retailers were very good. With Lowe's, AutoZone, and Macy's today. Yeah, no one has the numbers yet. CNBC is waiting for them as well. All right. So we will be waiting probably another minute. Lemonade, Beyond up 35%. No way. It's up 3.57%. Okay, so Beyond's up 3.57. I think you meant to say 3.5. Lemonade, Rocket Lab's up 2%. Lemonade's up 4%. Okay, so some of the numbers are probably hitting the terminal, but we don't have them yet. Coupang as well, up 3.48. Lemonade, please. You guys want to watch Lemonade or Rocket Lab? Let me know. Which one? Lemonade or Rocket Lab? We got to listen to one of those. Lemonade, for some reason, has a lot of people that are excited for it. But it's an insurance company. I've never been like, I never got what the excitement was of it. But people have been excited for a long time about that one as well. Okay. So while we're waiting for these guys, no big moves yet. Let me pull up some of these other stocks and see how they ended. So Palantir for the day ended at 24.54. So we got Palantir at 24.54. IWM, look at the Russell, 203. That one was there as well, which did good. Verizon, 39.94. Enphase, 121. Google, again, 140. SoFi, 9.15. There was a nice breakout on SoFi, man. 7.14%. I mean, it was a good day for SoFi. It finally got some momentum and really broke out from that $8 level. And PayPal actually is up 1.4%, which is incredible. PayPal is somehow up 1.4%. You never thought we'd see the day, but PayPal hit 60 today. It was like a sympathy play, but the market said, all right, we'll give you some love. All right, after hours, Rocket Labs down 2%. Lemonade down 2%. Space down 2%. Virgin Galactic. Redfin down 2%. Bumble down 6%. eBay's up 4%. And Coupang's up 3.7%. I think we have eBay. Let me see. No, we don't have eBay yet, but the numbers are definitely out. The street's just waiting to digest them. Will that make Enphase run if First Solar moves? I think, yeah. I mean, I think Enphase could run, but First Solar has to do really well for Enphase to run aggressively. Okay, Bumble's down 9%. Let me pull up Bumble's numbers. It seems like that's the worst one. Bumble is a dating app where girls message first, so guys are not allowed to message first. That's the core thesis. Bumble IR. The founder left the company. She left the company like 3 months ago, and she was like a rock star founder, so I was really surprised when she left the company. But if she left the company, I don't know what the excitement is for Bumble anymore, to be honest. Let's watch Lemonade. Okay, I guess we'll do Lemonade. I'll ask you guys again, but it seems like Lemonade is the one. Rocket Lab tank. Where's Rocket Lab? Whoa! Down. Wait, hold on. It was down 7%. Now it's down 0.21%. It was down 7%. Now it's down 0.21. Or am I looking at the wrong thing? It was just down 7%. Then it went right back up. Let me see on my phone. By the way, Dogecoin was up today as well, 11%. No, Rocket Lab's up now. Wow. It was down 7. Now it's up. Now it's green. That's so weird. This whole earnings season has been so weird with these numbers and with the stock price action moving right over and above the numbers. Rocket Labs, I still don't have the results on Twitter. eBay, we still don't have the results either. It's up on guidance. First Solar's tanking. First Solar's down 3%. Lemonade's down 3%. Rocket Lab is now up 2%. Maybe guidance did save these guys. Virgin Galactic down. There's not any crazy. Oh, wow. Beyond Meat. There's a crazy move. That's up 15%. Beyond Meat did something. They're up 15% right now. So Beyond Meat, we're seeing some value there. And they are up right now. eBay's flying. eBay's up 5%. Okay. The head fake is basically a head fake. Yeah. The algorithms are insane, dude. The algorithms are incredible. I think we're about to get eBay's numbers in a second. No, we still don't have the numbers. Wow. Even CNBC doesn't have them. Still don't have these numbers. Okay. Space. We got Virgin Galactic. Revenue for the first quarter of 2024 is expected to be $2 million. Free cash flow for the first quarter of 2024 is expected to be $125 million. They lost $502 million in 2023. Are they down right now? Are they down? Yeah, they're down 2%. I mean, this company's already been beaten up, but it doesn't look like their earnings were that good. It does not look like their earnings were good. They successfully flew 6 human space flights in 6 months in 2023. They completed a mission. Cash is strong, $982 million. Revenue of $3 million. They did $3 million compared to $1 million, so revenue's up. Net loss of $104 million. Okay, so they beat but they beat on revenue, and they're still unprofitable. And they had 6 successful trips, and they are down 2%. Lemonade's down 4%. Rocket Lab now down 1%, and Beyond Meat is up 24%. Let me try to get the Beyond numbers. Beyond Meat was a small cap, right? Beyond Meat, yeah, $485 million. Beyond Meat used to be like $200 at one point. Beyond Meat. Okay, here we go. I got Beyond Meat. Let me show you guys this one. And then we'll go back. Beyond Meat. So Beyond Meat, net revenues of $343 million. What? How are they? They're down 18% year over year in terms of revenues for Beyond Meat. Gross profit was $82.7 million. So the gross margins, I believe, are up year over year. Net loss they lost $338 million. Why are these guys up 25%? Why is Beyond Meat up 25% right now? What is going on? eBay is up 5%, but Beyond Meat, why are these guys up 25%? Net revenues $343 million. They're short at 38% on Beyond Meat, so they do have a big short float. And fourth quarter, look at this. They're down 8% year over year in revenues. They are not growing. This company is not growing at all. They lost $155 million. Look at this. They lost double what they lost last year. They lost $66 million. This year they lost $155. That's more than double. They lost more than this is insanity. Beyond Meat is growing less. They were not growing year over year, -8%. They lost double. So their EPS they lost double what they had last year, 66 to 155. The stock's up 23%. I know it's shorted at about 40%, but still, I mean, yeah, it's getting squeezed. But the question is, what's the catalyst for the squeeze? It seems like it was worse than expectations. Space is down 3%. Bumble's down 5%. eBay is up 6%. Let me see if I get eBay now. I think I should have eBay. Yeah, we got eBay. We got eBay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's do eBay.
For the ride, depending on inflation differentials.
Looking here pretty strong for eBay. The company reporting earnings per share adjusted of $1.07. That's better than what the street was looking for at $1.03 adjusted here. Also, guidance looks pretty good here for the first quarter. Guidance giving a range of 119 to 123. The street was looking for 113 adjusted, so that's above. First quarter revenue guidance about what the street was expecting. They're giving a range of 2.5 billion to 2.54 billion. The street looking for 2.53 billion. So somewhat bracketing here. The company also is saying they're increasing their dividend by 2 cents and doing a $2 billion buyback. That gross merchandise volume that we talk about also up 2% to $18.6 billion. You can see here the stock is reacting up more than 3% here in the early going for eBay's fourth quarter results. Back over to you, Morgan and John.
All right. Courtney Reagan, thank you. We've got Splunk earnings out as well. Christina Partsinevelos has the numbers. Hi, Christina.
Splunk is a cybersecurity firm as well as data observability, and they posted revenues of $1.486 billion, which is a beat for Q4. We don't have EPS. We're not going to compare for the full year revenue guidance.
By the way, guys, Cisco bought Splunk as well. So I believe, if I'm not wrong, company is underneath Cisco now.
Came in 4.21 billion, which was slightly less than the street was anticipating at 4.48. I'd like to reiterate they are not providing an outlook or having an earnings call. Why? Because Cisco plans to buy them for $28 billion. That deal was started in place in September. It still needs to go through regulatory hurdles, which we should find out by March 13th, according to the EU. That was recently set a deadline. So again, Splunk beat for Q4 revenues. Guidance or full year revenue guidance was a little bit light, but stock not really reacting because there's not much in this report.
All right, Christina, thanks. Agilent earnings are out. That stock is reacting with the shares higher by about 6% in overtime. Interesting story here, though. So let me first give you the fiscal Q1 numbers. Revenue came in at $1.66 billion versus 1.588 expected. That's a beat. EPS also a beat at $1.29 versus $1.22 adjusted expected. Now Q2 revenue and EPS both a miss, but in a way that was expected because Agilent had been saying first half of the year is going to be rough. 20% of their business is in China, and that has been a drag. They said the second half is going to be better, and a better second half is reflected in their full year guide now, and I think that's why the stock is high. But first, Q2 revenue guide is to $1.56 to $1.59 billion range. The street was looking for 1.617, so that is a miss. Also, the Q2 EPS guide is a range of $1.17 to $1.20 a share. The street was expected $1.27 adjusted, so that's a miss. But on the full year revenue guide, they're saying to expect $6.71 to $6.81 billion.
This is a healthcare company, I believe. Agilent Tech. I believe this is a healthcare company. Okay, Bumble. Let's look at Bumble. So we got Splunk, we had Agilent, and then we had the other one that I'm forgetting right now that we just went through. eBay. We had eBay. Okay, so here's Bumble. Here's what we got from Bumble. Total revenue, 16% to 1.05, basically $1 billion. They made $1 billion. This is the dating app. Full year revenue increased 22% to 848 million. That is the Bumble app revenue, which is different from some of the other products they have. And then paying users increased 21% to 2.7 million. So 83,000 people bought a Bumble subscription last quarter on Bumble. Bumble right now is down 7%. Okay. So total revenue, 273 million. They're up 13% year over year on revenue. Bumble app revenue up 16%. Total paying users, that's up 16%. Total paying users is up 2.7. Bumble has a couple of other companies inside of them, so they have like a bunch of different apps, but they all are in the dating space. Full year 2023, $1 billion these guys did. Total ARPU, $23 a person. Net loss, $1.09 a share, it looks like. Or did they lose 1.9 billion? Oh shit, dude, if they lost 1.9 billion, did they lose 1.9 billion? Hold on, what's their EPS? Why didn't they put their EPS? What is these guys? I don't see the hold on, let me see. Did they lose 1.9 billion? No, net loss was 32 million, but for the full year, okay, so it's more like 400 million. All right, so they definitely are not profitable. But their adjusted EBITDA is up, revenue is up, not crazy growth numbers. Look at this, full year 2024. This is why they're down. They are guiding for 8% growth, dude. That is not, I mean, you can't. That's not the best, dude. Someone says, "What's my Bumble hit rate?" I don't use Bumble, but it's. I mean, I've seen the app before. I used it back when I was like in college, but I haven't used it in years. But this thing now, Tinder Match Group is, if you want to invest in dating, Match Group I think is the better play than Bumble. MTCH, I believe, is the ticker on that. Now, I don't know how good the stock is, but I do know that there's more value because they have Tinder and all this other stuff. But that thing is at 37.32. It's up 1.91% on the day. All right, so that was Bumble. Nothing too crazy. We had Kava is down, basically flat. We'll try to get up Kava's numbers in a second. Let me know in the chat if you've eaten Kava before. I know they're a restaurant. I think it's Mediterranean food or Middle Eastern food, something like that. But they are a restaurant. Rocket Lab after hours down 6%. Okay, so Rocket Lab, I got to get the Rocket Lab numbers because I haven't been able to get that. And then we'll do Lemonade. Rocket Lab, these guys, okay, I think I got their numbers. Rocket Lab IR. Let me see if I pull this up. These guys are down. Beyond's up 40%. Dude, that makes no sense. That is meme stock stuff going on. That makes no sense. All right, we got Rocket Lab. Yeah, they're not growing. They lost double the amount of money, more than double the amount of money, but their short squeeze, I mean, the short float is high, and now they're up. They're up a lot. Okay, so Rocket Lab. Here we go. Here's Rocket Lab. We grew revenue 16% year over year while expanding our GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins by 12 and 6.9 percentage points respectively, and rounded out the fourth quarter with our largest contract and award up to $515 million. Okay, we knew about that a month ago. Where's the revenue for this quarter? Why don't they have the revenue for this quarter? That's so weird, dude. Why didn't they just put the revenue? I hate when companies do this, dude. Just put the revenue for Q4. Like, you're public. We have to see it. They're only giving the first quarter guidance revenue. I want to know how much you guys made in Q4 2023. Like, just that should be the number one thing, dude. The EPS and revenue. That should be the number one thing here. This should be the number one thing. Look at this. Fourth quarter highlights, business highlights, and then they go on to do everything other than revenue and EPS. Like, what is going on here, dude? Like, you have to say that stuff. I don't know what you're trying to do here. All right, so the guidance, this is where the numbers are. First quarter guidance of 2024, revenue between 92 and 98. I don't even know what growth is that year over year because I don't have fourth quarter 2023. So I can't really do the math real quick. Space systems revenue, 60 million. Launch services revenue, 32 million. Like, I don't even know if these are good numbers, quite frankly. I don't know. They're still not profitable to what I see. And remember, they announced dilution of about 20% a month ago. And so they say basic shares outstanding of 490 million. I have to see how many shares outstanding they have right now. Let me see if I can find that, because that means they're saying they're going to dilute real quick. Let me see. Rocket Lab shares outstanding. Let's see. Rocket Lab. Do I have that? Shares outstanding right now. Interesting. Okay, so it says they have 480. Oh, they're going to dilute by 6 million. So right now they have 484 million shares, guys, in Q3 2023. They're guiding right now for basic shares of 490. So they're saying basically we're going to dump 6 million shares on the market. That's also why the stock might be down 8%. I mean, if you know you're going to get diluted, you might just wait to buy it at a cheaper price. So that's also something that may be happening right now as well. Bumble is inherently flawed because gals are more selective and like to pair up more, so less usage. Grindr is a much better demographic for high usage. That's actually true. I mean, now the mission of Bumble is to like empower women, which is great. That's fine. You can have the mission. But if girls are more selective, if they want someone who's 7 feet tall, because 5'7" to them is, a travesty. I'm speaking from experience here. Then, well, they're not going to use the app as much. They're not going to use the app. Okay, Lemonade. So that was Rocket Lab. Lemonade is down 6.4%. Let me pull up Lemonade's numbers and see what they're doing. Lemonade Insurance. I've never understood why people love this company, but people love this company. And so let's see what they have to say. Wow, their PR is not out. Of course it's not. This is just incredible, dude. I can't believe some of these companies, dude. I can't believe it. Lemonade. So, the earnings actually aren't out, I think. Oh, 435. Wow, 430. Why are they releasing at 435? All right, well, the earnings are not out yet for Lemonade. Let me see here. Okay, we have Urban Outfitters, another retailer. These guys are out. Let's look at them. Urban Outfitters right now.
And Courtney Reagan has those for us too.
Here you go, Morgan. So for Urban Outfitters for the holiday quarter, earnings per share coming in at 69 cents. That's below the 74 cents analysts had expected. Revenue's about in line here at $1.49 billion. When we like to look at sort of the different breakouts of the brands, because there are several, to see what really drove the quarter. Comparable sales increased 4.9% overall. So they did see high single-digit positive growth in the digital channel and low single-digit but positive growth in the stores themselves. And then really the strongest name again, Free People, those comparable sales up by 18.9%, a 12% increase in comp sales at Anthropologie, a decrease again in Urban Outfitters comparable sales at 13.6%. I also do think it's interesting that they're giving us some information about Nuuly, which is their rental business. They're seeing a 56% increase in average in their subscribers versus the same quarter last year. And while they don't give us guidance, the CEO quote does say that there's a positive customer response to early spring offerings, which bodes well for continued sales growth in the first quarter. You can see, though, investors are a little disappointed. Even still, that quote, not quite enough to get them excited about what's to come here, with shares down of Urban Outfitters 11% in the after hours. Morgan and John, back over to you.
All right, Courtney Reagan, thank you. First Solar earnings are out. Pippa Stevens has those for us. Pippa.
All right, First Solar, here we go.
Hey, Morgan, it is a mixed quarter here for First Solar. EPS coming in at $3.25 per share. That was 12 cents ahead of analyst estimates, although revenue at $1.16 billion, short of the $1.32 billion that was expected. The company issued full year EPS and revenue guidance that was largely in line with expectations, and also said that it produced and shipped a record volume of modules during the latest year, and their backlog now extends into 2027. Those shares up 4%. Morgan?
All right, Pippa Stevens, thank you. And Drew, our thanks to you for being here on set and going through earnings with us.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
All right, well, it's time now to bring senior markets commentator Mike Santoli.
Okay, so First Solar seems like it's not that bad or not that good. They're up 2.77% right now. Enphase, if we take a look at these guys, are up a little bit after hours. And then Solar Edge is also, wow, Solar Edge is up 3.3%. Or it ended 3.3% of the day. It's flat after hours. Let me get First Solar numbers. First Solar numbers. Let's see these guys. Okay, so here we go. We have their numbers, news. Okay, here we go. We got the numbers for First Solar. They gave huge guidance for next year. All right, so let's look at it. So net sales, $3.3 billion for 2023. Wow, $1.2 billion for the fourth quarter. That seems pretty good, dude. That seems way better than last quarter. Net income per diluted share, $7.74. 2023 year-end net cash, $1.6 billion. EPS guidance of 13 to 14 per share. That's not bad. That seems way better than 2023. Okay, hold on. Let's read a little bit from this. Net sales of $1.2 billion. Yeah, they increased $400 million quarter over quarter. Enphase didn't do that. SolarEdge didn't do that. They declined almost $200 million. First Solar is up $400 million. That's actually incredible. Wow. CEO says few years have been as consequential to our long-term growth strategy as 2023. Over the past year, we scaled manufacturing capabilities or capacity, mobilized at our latest announced facility in Louisiana, produced and shipped a record volume of modules, expanded our contract backlog to historic levels, increased R&D, and continue to involve technology. Net sales are 4.4 to 4.6 billion. Currently, hold on. So they did 3.3 billion in 2023. Let's give them the high end, 4.6. 4.6 minus 3.3 divided by 3.3. Wow. They're projecting 40% growth. year over year. Guidance numbers are below for 2024 in the box. That's not bad, dude. That's so different. Why are these guys different from Enphase or SolarEdge? Are they like a different company they're not? They can't just be a microinverter company then, right? Because Enphase and SolarEdge can't be struggling this much, and these guys have no problem. First Solar, I'm on their website right now. I don't know if they only make microinverters, but that's incredible guidance, dude. 40% year-over-year growth. SoFi's up 7%. Yep, that is. Inflation Reduction Act, that is definitely helping. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at what they make PV modules. That's their big thing. I don't know if they're saying microinverters, but SolarEdge, phenomenal earnings. And they're going to be talking later today. They say production costs of about 85 million, operating income about 1.5 to 1.6 billion. I think these guys are profitable as well. Yeah, they're profitable. It seems like these guys are profitable as well. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. They do industrial solar rather than residential. Okay. I had a feeling they do something different, dude. Industrial solar rather than residential. You know, a lot of people are saying the money is in residential, not in commercial. If they do industrial, that's very interesting. Palantir right now, 24.54. NVIDIA is 787. It was down about 0.49% of the day. SMCI down about 2.8% of the day. Google up about 1% of the day. SoFi up 7% of the day, and Robinhood ending the day at 423 up 4.23%. 1628 after hours up 0.18% on the day. Bumble is down 4%. It's not down as bad as it was before. Now down about 6%. Lemonade down 4%. Kava down 1%. Rocket Lab down 7%. First Solar up 2.4%. So First Solar's PE looks like it's 19, which, I mean, for 40% growth, 19 is not crazy. The market cap's 15 billion. They're going to do 4.4 billion in revenue. This is actually interesting. Market cap 18, revenue 4.4 next year, 40% year-over-year growth, PE of 19, price to sales of 4. Only 106 million shares outstanding. Hold on, is this stock up year to date? First Solar, FSLR. Year to date, these guys are down 13%. Okay, so they took a big hit. Past year, they're down 10%. That makes sense. Past 5 years, they're up 173%. And past 3 months, they are down 4%. This is an interesting one, guys. I think we got to take a look at this. No moat, though. They're definitely interested. So here's the thing. First of all, one of my questions, why don't they have a moat? Well, why do you think they don't have them? I don't know anything about this company, so I want to hear what you guys have to say. But number two, it doesn't seem like they're that sensitive to interest rates if they're going to grow freaking 40% next year. Like, why are they projecting 40% growth with interest rates not projected to come down till the summer? I'm very confused where they're like, what clients are they serving that don't care about the financing cost for solar? And if they're industrial, maybe that's the pseudo moat there. That's interesting. No free cash flow because of huge capex. Okay, that might be a big concern. Let me pull up their cash flow right now. Hold on. First Solar, FSLR, free cash flow. Oh, you're right. Look at that. That's negative. They lost 120 million. Yeah, they have Q4 2022. They had 468 million, and then 2023 they crapped the bed, even though last quarter was better. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably why the stock is so cheap. That's probably why the stock is so damn cheap. These guys don't make any fucking cash. They don't have any cash coming in at the end of the day. Hold on. I thought they were profitable. Let me check. Are these guys profitable? Net income. Are they profitable? Yeah, they're profitable. Okay, so they're at least profitable, but they don't have any. Their free cash flow is horrible because they're capex. Interesting. Ask Chris. He recommended First Solar. Yeah, that's another reason. I know Chris thought about First Solar a while ago, but I don't think he cared that much about the name since then. Palo Alto Networks, by the way, guys, had a great day. This stock was up 4%. It was up 7% yesterday, 314. I mean, the thing basically recovered almost half of its earnings loss when it fell to 275 on earnings. So that was a good one. HIMS is up another 3.5%. Yeah, man. HIMS is, wow. HIMS is up 34% on the day, dude. That's not easy. This is what I think. This is a small cap. I know it's technically not a small cap, but under 10 billion to me is still small. This is the sector rotation I think we're seeing. That companies are going to profitable companies like HIMS that have not blown up yet, like a Robinhood, like a SoFi, and they're saying, hey, let's take some gains from our large cap and let's just rotate it into some of these companies that are doing really good, that are growing, that are profitable, that figured out how to manage interest rates. They deserve some capital to be able to keep going. And so these companies are getting a lot of love right now at this moment. Chewy, did they have earnings today? This is the one that Ryan Cohen used to be on the board of, right? Or he built this company. Chewy is up 5%. Yeah, I don't know if they had earnings today, but Chewy is up about 3.86% on the day as well. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get a little update on eBay and see what is being said on eBay. Here we go. Let's talk about eBay. And then we'll keep going. Also, let me know in the chat, Rocket Lab or Lemonade? Which one do we watch? Rocket Lab or Lemonade today?
eBay has been growing pretty strongly through the past year. And certainly these numbers are just a reflection of that holiday positivity. We also saw similar results with Amazon. So I think that it points to the fact that the shopper is purchasing at marketplaces. They are purchasing a variety of different categories, and e-commerce has been a pretty strong beneficiary of the shoppers' worries. We're seeing a divergence between what people think and what they're actually buying. And they're certainly buying in e-commerce, even though they may have a little bit of disappointment about the state of the economy overall.
Which is really fascinating, too, because we keep talking about, and certainly we've seen it evidenced to a certain extent, even in earnings season, that consumers are much more willing to spend more money on services than goods. But then you see that there is some resilience in terms of the e-commerce picture. Perhaps it speaks to that as well. I just wonder what the very fast, very aggressive emerging of some of these Chinese inexpensive e-tailers and e-commerce players like Shein, like Temu mean for the eBays and Amazons of the world?
Well, it's absolutely competition. And that is something that all of these players in the United States need to grapple with. They are growing incredibly rapidly. They're taking share. When you look at overall, marketplaces are growing, e-commerce is growing, but eBay's numbers have actually been flat with respect to market share in the United States. So this absolutely points to the fact that these Chinese sellers are taking share. They are capturing a significant part of consumer interest. And they're very savvy in social media in growing their audiences and in attracting new consumers as well. So that's absolutely something to watch for. But at the same time, eBay and Amazon can take advantage of some of the sellers on these sites like Temu and Shein. So it'll be interesting to see how some of those top sellers actually manifest themselves in some of these American marketplaces.
So, Charita, how much hope is there that eBay can really get some momentum again and be a grower? Because, Walmart's been going strong. If you look back at eBay's chart, it's about even with where it was 6 years ago in early 2018. And meanwhile, things like omni-channel, like unified checkout through and buy now, pay later through the likes of Klarna and Affirm are really getting popular. And eBay doesn't have all of those pieces. Is that okay?
Well, right. Remember, they divested PayPal. And, they've had a history of lots of interesting acquisitions. They've been in the ticketing space. They owned Skype at one point. So there is a lot of there fits and starts with eBay, and their more recent strategy seems to be to really double down in e-commerce, in resale, everything from the goods that people know them for, like electronics, to a lot of the hot goods in the secondary market, whether it is streetwear or watches. So it'll be interesting to see if they are able to share any data on some of those sectors. They really leaned into a lot of local sellers and small regional sellers, like American small businesses during the pandemic. And that was really an attempt to attract the shopper that wants to support those local businesses. So there are some interesting places where they're absolutely investing. There's opportunity there for sure, but that market share number needs to go up. They're not out.
So eBay is increasing their dividend by 2 cents, which is cool. That's fine. Beyond Meat is up 52%. Swagnor says, admit your Webull is lagging hard. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. It's my Mac is being weird, so I have to share from my other computer. So I'm sorry about that. But Beyond Meat's up 51%. eBay's up 4%. So they're increasing their dividend. And as we can see right here, she was making a lot of analysis around marketplaces and how they're ultimately figuring out different avenues to grow ever since they got rid of PayPal. Remember, eBay used to own PayPal, and then they divested from them. So, that is one avenue of growth that has not been there for them. Beyond Meat lost $60 million last year. They lost $155 million this year. They're growing negative 8% year over year. Stock is up 50% right now. Dude, that is insanity. This is what makes me feel like there's a little bit of frothiness in the market, but it's isolated to certain instances because the broader market, we talked a lot this morning, probably is in a decent spot. And like a lot of these things are justified in how the market is ultimately operating. But when you see stuff like this is just pure like gamma squeezing that's going on right now. This thing should not be up 52%. But and I know there's a big short flow, but why would the shorts even have to cover after those results? Like if they announce, hey, we're profitable or something, you could imagine, okay, the shorts have to cover. I don't understand why the shorts are covering, which means I don't really know why it's a squeeze. Like why is it a squeeze? What is the psychology behind the shorts covering? That's beyond insane. Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out what is like why who's buying this up after hours? Are people just buying it to like squeeze the shorts here? Because that's the only reason I could understand why people are buying this thing. We got Rocket Labs in 20 minutes. We'll have Rocket Labs in 20 minutes. But I don't understand what's going on with Beyond Meat. TTCF, is that still a public company? Are they still listed? Yeah, they're not listed anymore. They're delisted, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, TTCF is not listed. Yeah, they're not listed anymore. So I don't think they are. Enphase 121, Palantir 2452 today. SMCI 849 right now. Wall Street Bets pumping it. Let me check Wall Street Bets right now, actually. Let's check Wall Street Bets. Are they talking about Beyond Meat? I mean, I think this has been a favorite stock of theirs for a while, but these earnings are not the earnings you would expect to get a pump. But it is. Okay, let me pull up Kava's earnings as well. We didn't look at Kava IR. Let's look at Kava as well. Then we'll go and see Beyond Meat. News. Okay, here we go. We got Kava. Let me know in the chat if you've eaten Kava before. I've never eaten this thing before. But here's Kava. Okay. Their stock right now is basically flat after hours. They grew 60% year over year. Wow. It's not bad. 72 restaurants they opened. Restaurant profit margin, 25%. I don't know the restaurant business that well, but I think 25% is not bad. It's definitely not horrible in the restaurant business. 52% year over year, 175 million. That's amazing. Digital revenue, 35.9%. Restaurant openings, 19. They have 309 across the country. Fiscal year, they brought in 717 million. Average AUV of 2.6 million, excluding the 53rd week of fiscal 2023. 72 restaurants. Net income, 13.3 million. They made a profit. Last year, they lost 60 million. This year, they made 13.3 million. Market cap of Kava is 6 billion. And they did 717 million in revenue. And it's growing 60%. That doesn't seem ridiculously expensive, quite frankly. Now, they just turned profit. I think this is their first profitable quarter as well. The increase was driven by 95 net new Kava restaurant openings. 2024 guidance. Do they have any guidance? They expect 52 open restaurants the next quarter. Or sorry, for the full year. And they don't have the revenue guidance here, but they expect 52 opening restaurants, which is not bad. They opened 72. That's a little bit less, but that's not horrible. 25 profit margins is a banging for restaurants. Yeah, that's what I thought. 25% profit margins for restaurants, dude. Restaurants are tough. They're a tough business. So you got restaurants getting you 25% on the dollar. That's actually incredible. First Solar, by the way, is it's up 2% after hours. This is the first profitable quarter, I think. I thought that we would have a quote for, okay, the CEO said, 2023 was a remarkable year for Kava, one that demonstrated our significant white space opportunity and the strength of our operating model and team members as we define the next big cultural cuisine category. Following a successful IPO, we delivered 3 consecutive quarters of positive net income. Oh, so they've been profitable for three quarters, driven by full year revenue growth of 60%. This is something to look into a little bit. I mean, it's something to put on the list. They're growing 60% year over year. They're profitable. They have 25% margins as a restaurant. $6 billion in revenue, $6 billion in market cap, $800 million in revenue. On the watch list, right? Yeah, on the watch list. Definitely on the watch list. Coupang is up 12.79%. Okay, so Coupang is a Chinese company, right? If I'm not wrong. They're a Chinese company, right? Coupang, we have their results. Or am I totally wrong on this? Am I totally wrong? Coupang company. It's Korean. Okay, it's Korean. Wow, that was very racist of me. But that's I thought it was it's Korean. Okay, so it's Korean. All right, so we got the results from Coupang. Here we go. Here's Coupang. They are the Amazon of Korea. Okay, Amazon of Korea. Coupang. 6.6 billion, up 23% year over year. That's amazing. Gross profit of 1.7 billion, up 32%. That's amazing. Operating cash flow of 2.7 billion. Free cash flow 1.8 billion. I mean, just high level. That's not great. Wow, they made $1 billion in profit. They made $1 billion off of $6 billion in revenue. That's not crazy, dude. That's not crazy. Product commerce was 6.3 billion. Segment adjusted EBITDA was 444 million on product commerce. Developing offerings, this is international. Coupang Eats, Play, and FinTech was 273 million. I don't know what those offerings are, but I'm assuming that's something different than just e-commerce. Active customers, 21 million. Let's go to their website. Coupang. I want to see what this company looks like. Coupang. Okay, here it is. Here is Coupang. We are building the future of commerce. Okay, so they sell shit. That's what they do. They're the Amazon of Korea, as you guys mentioned. 99% of orders delivered within a day. Look at that, dude. They basically took Amazon's model and they said, we're just going to beat you at your shit. And I don't even know if Amazon is heavily penetrated into Korea. I would imagine Coupang is a much more friendlier brand. People know them. They're much more cultural. And so there you go. When Amazon and Google have a baby, yeah, that's what you got. Okay, so these Coupang right now is up 13%. Yeah, dude. I would imagine they're up great. Those numbers look incredible. Those numbers look pretty damn good. 2024, do they have any guidance? Doesn't look like they have the guidance here. I don't see their guidance here. Yeah, probably on the call they would give more guidance. But $6 billion in revenue and $1 billion in net income. Not bad. Their delivery is super fast. Is anyone in Korea watching this right now? Is anyone watching this that knows about Coupang? Did you ever have a delivery come to you from Coupang? There we go. So Coupang is up 13%. We got Rocket Lab in 17 minutes. We're going to listen to the call. Kava's down, basically flat. Bumble's down 7%. Oh, Redfin. We didn't look at Redfin. Let's look at Redfin. So Redfin is a company that does real estate. Redfin's like Zillow, right, guys? It's like Zillow. That's basically what it is, right? I think they're only in Korea, correct? Druckenmiller is big on CPNG. Wow, didn't know that. Oh, they're in Korea and Japan and Taiwan. Interesting. Okay, so they're trying to take over that entire part of the world here. Redfin. Okay, I got Redfin. Here we go. I got Redfin. Redfin real estate lower commission uses AI. Okay. Fourth quarter revenue, $218 million. Oh, wow. They are not growing. They're decreasing revenue. They're down 1%. Market cap on Redfin is $825 million. This is a small cap. Gross profit, $72 million. Net loss was $22.9 million compared to $61 million. So EPS is up 300%, but they're still losing money. Adjusted EBITDA loss was $13.5 million. Full year revenue was $970 million, basically $1 billion in revenue. That's down 11% year over year. Gross profit was $329 million. Real estate services gross profit was $156 million as well. Adjusted EBITDA was $76 million. Okay, so CEO says, in a dreadful housing market, wow, look at that word. Redfin got more efficient in the fourth quarter, again, improving gross margins and operating margins, even as we laid the foundation for meaningful long-term growth. Our site has continued to draw visitors from rivals, and new sales initiatives are driving breakthroughs on fronts where Redfin has been stymied for years. First, our all-variable pay plan is delivering significant revenue growth in major California cities. Second, a commission refund to customers who hire a Redfin agent after the first tour seems likely to increase home buyer close rates in its first 4 pilot markets. We expect these to pay off big in 2024 and 2025. So Redfin, hold on, let me ask Gemini. I want to, in one sentence, what does Redfin do? What does the Redfin company do? I feel like they're a mix between Zillow, but they're also like a real estate agents company. Redfin is a technology-powered company that operates in the real estate market, offering a range of services to buyers and sellers. Finding homes, okay, so they let you find homes using AI. They connect buyers with agents, and then they have Redfin agents. So they're different from Zillow because Zillow doesn't necessarily have agents. Zillow is a marketplace that connects third-party agents to buyers, and they're like a Google, they're like a search engine for homes, right? And advertising is their model. Redfin has certified Redfin agents that connect you to the buyers. Mitch says Redfin is the Beyond Meat of real estate. Okay. So they're barely down. I mean, their earnings weren't horrible. They're definitely not growing as much, but I think the street kind of expected what they were going to do. And so they're basically flat after hours. Real estate will jump when rates are slashed. Yeah, I agree. It's just going to probably take some months until that ends up happening. Beyond Outlook's at 310 to 340 million revenue estimate for 2024. Yeah, but what was the revenue this quarter? Maybe that's why they're up, is the guidance. Beyond, hold on, let's see what the guidance was. Or sorry, what the revenue. Okay, so Beyond Meat had a revenue of 73 million. Okay, so that's interesting. If they're guiding for 300, oh, no, you're saying 340 million for 2024, not for Q1 2024. Yeah, that's horrible. I thought you said digital content. I thought you said their outlook for Q1 2024 is 340 million. I was like, that would increase revenue by 500% quarter over quarter. That definitely justifies them being up 52%. They're up 80%, guys. Holy crap. Do you see this? They're up 80%. Oh my God, dude. This, like, 80%, dude. That is just incredible. Like, this is shorts all over it. I mean, or they're squeezing. But I don't understand why the shorts are squeezing. Why are the shorts covering? There's nothing to cover. Like, I don't get it. There's nothing to cover. We looked at Lemonade already. Let me pull up Lemonade again, but we looked at it. Hold on, let me pull this up. Wow, this is remarkable, dude. This is just, you did not expect this today. Like, this is a lot. This is pretty insane. I want to short this thing so bad. It seems like that's what got people into trouble in the first place, shorting this thing. This is just wow. Wow. Okay. So let me get Lemonade again. We looked at Lemonade numbers, right? Did we not look at Lemonade numbers? I'm pretty sure we did. Hold on. Lemonade IR. Let me pull these up. That's crazy, dude. That's like legit crazy. Archer says, what do you think of Square? Isn't it the better Hood? No, Square is a totally different business than Hood. Square is to send people money. It's not, it's a different, Robinhood is to invest. And also Square with Bitcoin, yeah, there's some momentum there, but Robinhood is where people actually buy and sell Bitcoin. Square, people can send Bitcoin, which is not as lucrative as buying and selling Bitcoin. The transaction fees aren't there. Also, Square is with small merchants, point of service, right? It's a totally different business model in terms of their transaction fees off when people use the Square app and the Square like thing at a merchant, like you pay through Square. Robinhood is just a different thing there. Also, the valuation is different. The CEOs are different. It's a totally different business. Okay, Lemonade. I guess we didn't go through Lemonade. I guess we forgot to go through Lemonade. Okay, so here's Lemonade. Here we go. Here's Lemonade. Yeah, we didn't get to go through this. Okay, so we got the earnings call for Rocket Lab in 10 minutes, but here's Lemonade. Okay, 747 million in revenue. They call it in-force premium. I'm pretty sure that's an insurance term, but it's up 20% year over year. They have 2 million customers. So last year they did 625 million this quarter. This year they're doing 747 million. Their gross loss ratio is down from 89% to 77%, which I think is a good thing in the insurance business. That's down 12% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA, that's up 181 million versus 151. Top line, 747 million. Loss ratio, that's good. It showed a improvement, 12 points year over year. Gross profit climbed 165% year over year. Gross profit margin more than doubled to 29%. Operating expense contracted 5% year over year. Cash and cash investments, they have 945 million. Bottom line, 29 million adjusted EBITDA. They do not seem to be profitable. So they're not net income positive. The company right now, Lemonade, is down 9%. I don't necessarily know why they're down 9%. It must be something to do with guidance. It has to be. Adjusted gross profit is 170%. I don't think they're net income positive, though. Where is their guidance? Their guidance has got to be killing them right now. 20% year-over-year growth is not horrible. I don't know if that's what investors really wanted. Okay, all these slides, they're showing they're worthless. All right, here we go. 2024. This is what I want to see. So there's reason to be hopeful that many of the industry's headwinds turn into tailwinds in 2024. That's why we plan to roughly double our growth budget from 55 million spent. Doubling spend won't double our growth rate. So they're like, hey, we're not going to double our growth rate, but we'll double our growth spend. Dude, this is so complicated. Just tell me what you expect for 2024. Why are all these paragraphs here? Like, I just want to know what you expect. Okay, so no, they don't have it. They don't give guidance for revenue or EPS next year. They're giving adjusted EBITDA guidance. I don't give a shit about adjusted EBITDA guidance. No one cares. Isn't it Charlie Munger who said adjusted EBITDA is like bullshit? I just went 100% on Beyond Meat. Oh my God. All right. So those are the Lemonade earnings. It is what it is. They're down 9%. It doesn't look like they gave guidance and the street didn't like the 20% year-over-year growth. Beyond Meat is meaty 103%. Holy guacamole. Holy crap. 103%. What is going on, dude? Let me check if CNBC is covering this. Let me check if they're covering this. This doesn't make sense. I don't understand why it's up. You can't say shorts are being squeezed because why are they being squeezed? Like, what's the point of squeezing them? No, they're not talking about it. They're not. All right, so CNBC is not. They don't have anything on this. They were 40% short, but like, I don't understand. Beyond Meat up 100%. Who the hell's buying this shit, dude? Who the hell is buying it? I mean, this is just. I don't know. I don't get. We got Rocket Lab in 8 minutes. I'm trying to see if I can find anything here, but I don't see anything. Beyond is going insane. 100% up after hours, dude. For a stock to double after hours, that's not easy to do. That's not easy to do. That's Kathy. I don't think Kathy's buying this one. Buffett, yeah, Buffett's buying it. This is the secret stock. Imagine Beyond on a good earnings someday. Yeah, imagine Beyond Meat. I said they're profitable with their 40% short float. I mean, I don't get it. I'm looking, market cap 485 million. So tomorrow they're going to have a market cap of 800 million after not growing. Their 52-week low was $5.58. Today they're 14. Hold on, let me check their year-to-date on Beyond Meat. This is fascinating, dude. This market is fascinating. Year-to-date, the stock's up 62%. Today, the stock's up 95%. And over the past years, the stock's down 42%. Beyond Meat in 2019 was $177, guys. They IPO'd at 25, went up to 170, and then they kind of collapsed down to $5. Dude, people must have really been thinking this stock was going to do a move, because to have this much volume after hours, people must have been looking at this stock for the past couple of weeks thinking that on earnings, something was going to happen to get momentum. Why is Lemonade down? Their growth wasn't good enough. 20% year over year. The street didn't like it, and guidance, I'm assuming the street didn't like, even though they don't have the exact guidance numbers on their earnings. And that's why Lemonade is down. So again, I've been saying this isn't 2021, but when you see shit like this, like, it feels like 2021. Like, you don't see something like this happen. Now, granted, there's going to get people that get burned on this. I mean, we know this is going to not do well. Lunar right now for the day. Lunar Wow, Lunar actually was up 7% today. I mean, look, Lunar's down 40% since yesterday, but they ended up today 7%. Soundhound as well was up 30% today. Are they still hit? They're up. Soundhound was up 20% today. Soundhound, Lunar, and Beyond Meat at this point. I don't know what the hell's going on. Soundhound's the only one that I think kind of makes any sense because NVIDIA invested in them. The rest of these guys are just weird. Yeah, if you have calls on Beyond Meat, dude, imagine you had calls expiring in 2 weeks, or let's say in 2025 that Beyond Meat would get to $15, and Beyond Meat today, after being dead for like months, is at 14. You're going to make a lot of money tomorrow if you had those calls. And I bet there's some people that had those damn calls. Like, we were looking at Robinhood at $8-9. Now, Robinhood, totally different business than Beyond Meat. I think there's a reason to do some due diligence on it. Beyond Meat, I don't know if there's any real reason to do DD, but the people that did and they took an asymmetric bet, I mean, this thing's up 88% after hours. Now, granted, this thing could dump tomorrow really badly. I mean, this is not something that's healthy. This thing could dump badly. So I imagine people are going to dump the crap out of their shares and their calls tomorrow. They're going to get the hell out of it. But I think they'll probably dump. But I mean, tomorrow morning, there's going to be some momentum there. Why is Lunar up? They landed on the moon. And they landed on the moon, and then, the stock went to the moon for some reason. But the stock went to the moon before they landed on the moon. Aditya says, can we do puts now? Low key, bro. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, you just don't want it to keep running. But puts, the thing is the put premium tomorrow is going to be high. No one's going to give up their puts for free because everyone's going to be buying puts on this thing. ET says investing really makes us feel like we had a time machine. Yeah. I mean, investing is the thing that will definitely make you feel that you wish you could go back in time. Coupang selling less than one-time sale and growing 20%. Yeah, Coupang's on the watch list, dude. Coupang and Kava are on the watch list. We're going to be looking at these guys. Less than one time a sale, growing 20% year over year, $1 billion in net income, $6 billion in revenue. Definitely something to look at. Amit, forecast on Snowflake. I think they're going to grow probably 30% year over year. Stock-based compensation will go up. And then maybe they say they're profitable, probably not going to be profitable. They can be profitable whenever they want, but they're sacrificing it for growth. $73 billion market cap. Here's my thing. I'm looking for, you did 4 acquisitions last year. You had an NVIDIA partnership about enterprise AI. Where is your AI offering to the market? I don't think we've heard much from Snowflake. We know that they have a data lakehouse product, but where's the data analytics product that you guys are saying is so transformational? I don't believe they have one, quite frankly. And so I would actually be really interested to hear what is their approach to AI, because you can't just say your data warehouse product is your lakehouse product is going to be your AI play over the next decade. There has to be something else. So I'd want to see what they do. Yes, that's right, Amit. Puts won't be cheap. Yeah, I don't think puts would be cheap. Thomas says Courtney has Amit wishing for a time machine. We haven't talked about Courtney in a while. You guys have forgot about her, so it's good that we died down the Courtney hype. But yeah, I wish I could go back and dude. I remember, dude. If I said, hey guys, remember what you did in first grade? You probably can't remember. Maybe you have a vague memory of it. I remember Courtney was my girlfriend in first grade. And I remember telling my dad that I had a girlfriend in first grade, and he started laughing. And I remember she loved Hillary Duff, and I was like, oh, I have Hillary Duff concert tickets. I didn't have fucking concert tickets, but I was like, I have concert tickets. And she was like, oh my God, that's amazing. You're my boyfriend now. And I'm like, okay, cool. If that's all it took, then boom, we're dating. I remember this. It was a special time in life. Speaking of being in first grade, I was driving down I was driving back from Dunkin' Donuts today, and I saw these kids getting lined up for school, and they were wearing their book bags. These kids are in first grade or something. And I was like, damn, I remember even in high school, I was waiting for the bus, and I'm kind of happy I don't have to do that anymore. I kind of like life not having to wait for the bus. Rocket Lab earnings in about 30 seconds. I'm kind of happy I don't have to do that. I'm really happy that I can drive to Dunkin' Donuts and drive back in my own car because I pay my own taxes. I pay my own insurance. I kind of like that I don't have to depend on school anymore. I'm done with that phase of my life. It just hit me. I'm looking at these kids getting ready for the bus, and they all look so annoyed that they have to wake up at 7 a.m., get ready. I'm like, I wake up at 7 a.m. and I try to figure out what's going on in the stock market. It's cool. We're past that part of life, So it's just one of those realizations that hit me that, we're in a different phase of life, which is kind of cool. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know if that's philosophical or anything. I just wanted to say that. That's it. Uni says, LOL, not having to wait for the bus. I agree. That's such a basic thing I'm saying, but you get the point. How old are you in first grade? I was 8 years old, I think. Or like 7 years old, yeah. Okay, Rocket Lab should be starting very soon. Let's listen to what they have to say. Here we go.
Good day. My name is Ellie and I will be your conference operator for today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Rocket Lab fourth quarter 2023 financial results update and conference call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question during this time, please press star and number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, please press star and number 1 again. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce to the call Colin Canfield, Head of Investment and Relations. Colin, you may now begin.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. We're glad to have you join us for today's conference call to discuss Rocket Lab's fourth quarter and full year 2023 financial results. Before we begin the call, I'd like to remind you that our remarks may contain forward-looking statements that relate to the future performance of the company. And these statements are intended to qualify for the safe harbor protection from liability established by the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act. Any such statements are not guarantees of future performance, and factors that could influence our results are highlighted in today's press release, and others are contained in our filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Such statements are based upon information available to the company as of the date hereof and are subject to change for future developments. Except as required by law, the company does not undertake any obligation to update these statements. Our remarks and press release today also contain non-GAAP financial measures within the meaning of Regulation G enacted by the SEC. Included in such release and our supplemental materials are reconciliations of these historical non-GAAP financial measures to comparable financial measures calculated in accordance with GAAP. This call is also being webcast with a supporting presentation, and a replay and copy of the presentation will be available on our website. Our presenters today are Rocket Lab founder and Chief Executive Officer, Peter Beck, and Chief Financial Officer, Adam Spice. After our prepared comments, we will take questions. And now let me turn the call over to Mr. Beck.
Yeah, thanks, Colin. So we've got a lot of great achievements and milestones to share across Q4 2023 and Q1 2024. Adam will then talk through our financial results for the fourth quarter before covering the financial outlook for Q1 2024. After that, we'll take questions and finish today's call with near-term conferences that we'll be attending. Okay, on to what we achieved in the fourth quarter for the year, starting with our launch business. So we had a successful return to flight in Q4. We rounded out 2023 with that flight, successfully deploying a satellite for a Japanese customer, IQPS. This launch marked the conclusion of an in-depth round-the-clock investigation that got to the bottom of the issue we'd experienced on the previous launch. With mitigations now in place for future missions, we're starting to pick up the launch pace for this year. In Q4, we also hit a new annual launch record, ending the year with 10 launches, besting our previous record of 9. Not only did we reach this record, but we also commenced launches from our US launch site, introduced and launched our HASTE suborbital hypersonic vehicle for the first time, and we were the only small launch provider to launch more than one orbital mission in 2023. Overall, a strong year for the Electron team with plenty of firsts and new records, and we look forward to building on that this year. With the end of the fourth quarter, we wrapped up a record year of another kind, this time for new launch deals. We signed 25 new launch contracts in 2023, including 18 Electron missions and 7 HASTE missions. Contracts were signed across a diverse customer base, including civil, defense, and national security and government customers, as well as commercial constellation operators. Clearly, demand for Electron is strong and continues to grow. With 2 launch sites now up and running, we're well positioned to meaningfully increase our launch cadence this year. We'll dig into some more Electron achievements since the end of Q4 soon, as well as some key Neutron milestones. But first, let's take a look at some of the key highlights from our space systems business across the final quarter of 2023. Well, we closed out 2023 and we secured a contract that started a new era for Rocket Lab, and that is the era of being a prime contractor. We were selected by the Space Development Agency to design and build 18 spacecraft for the agency's Tranche 2 Transport Layer. As prime contractor for the approximately $500 million contract, we are leading the design, development, production, test, and operations of the satellites, including procurement and integration of the payload and subsystems. It's our largest single contract to date and establishes Rocket Lab's position as a leading satellite prime contractor, providing supply chain diversity to the Department of Defense. All 18 satellites will integrate subsystems and components built in-house by our team, including solar panels, structures, star trackers, reaction wheels, radios, flight software, avionics, and for the first time, a launch dispenser. This is a vertical integration strategy at work, and it gives us a real level of control over supply chain, enabling efficiencies on certainty on cost and schedule and quality, of course. Of course, the SDA contract is not the only spacecraft constellation we have in development and build. Our Space Systems team rounded out Q4 and the start of Q1 with some key milestones in the development of our constellation for Globalstar. We're now officially progressing from the design phase into production with the first flight frames and build for the constellation of 17 spacecraft. Simultaneously, our spacecraft component teams are getting to work on their subsystems, including solar panels, flight software, and so on. This constellation is still in the early phase, but we're making rapid progress ahead of the 2025 launch schedule. Now onto a mission scheduled to launch much sooner than that, our ESCAPADE mission for NASA and the University of California, Berkeley. We're building 2 spacecraft headed to Mars orbit via Blue Origin launch, scheduled for Q3 this year. In recent months, we've completed both propulsion decks, started environmental testing, and getting ready for ground operations at the launch site in preparation for launch. After our successful mission to the moon for NASA in 2022, we're looking forward to pushing the boundaries of even more in this highly ambitious space science mission. That's just a quick overview of some of the key highlights across Q4 and broader 2023. There's plenty more we could have shared, but in the interest of time, let's move on to some of the exciting progress and achievements so far in Q1. Okay, Neutron's path to first flight. So there's more green across the board, which is what we always like to see, with Neutron team delivering on some key milestones at the end of last year and in early 2024. But let's dive into some of the details. So with Neutron vehicle development, we've hit my favorite part of the development program. Real flight hardware is not only coming off the production line, but it's entering the integration test phase in preparation for first flight. The avionics team has kicked some major goals with successful hardware in the loop testing for simulated flights to orbit as well as landings. This is a process where we integrate real flight software with real flight avionics and hardware to get thousands of simulated flight environments. Hardware in the loop, or HIDL testing as we call it, has really been a key part of Electron's success, enabling us to test like we fly on the ground. And it's exciting and great to be entering that phase for Neutron now. We're also well into the test and validation campaign for the canards, which provides stability and steering to Neutron, particularly on re-entry and descent. We've now tested our first complete flight representative canard drivetrain, including motion controller, software, linear actuator, and all the canard mounting hardware, bearings, and so on. Now, this is really a big step forward for Neutron, and this represents one of the things we haven't done before, so it's great to get that behind us. On the structures side, development and production of Neutron's fairing and Stage 1 and Stage 2 tanks continue. Fairing molds and plugs are completed. These are some of the final steps before carbon composite flight structures start to come out of the factory. Things start to move very quickly in composites from here, so expect to see some more structures resembling a complete Neutron in the coming months. And it's been a big few months for the propulsion team bringing the Archimedes engine to life. The single element pre-burner test campaign was completed. All of the engine components are complete or in final production for the first engine. And once integrated testing is complete, we'll start to see some fire at Stennis and can move into production of those flight engines, following successful test campaigns. And then on the launch infrastructure, Launch Complex 3 in Virginia is taking shape nicely. The team has completed initial piles and concrete foundations work for the water tower, LOX tank, and of course the launch mount. And having built 3 launch pads now, even though I said I'd never build another one, we're really starting to get well refined and streamlining the process to build these quickly and efficiently. One of the ways we do this is by developing lots of key infrastructure in parallel. So we don't wait until foundations to be done to start the cryo tanks. We do it all concurrently. and so on and so forth for launch mounts. We fabricate all those large steel structures off-site and bring them to site and install them just as soon as that foundation work is done. That's how we're able to build LC2 in the record time of just 10 months. And now with foundation work substantially underway, above ground infrastructure like the launch mount, water tower and tanks will start to be installed across the next couple of months, ready for final integration testing, and then of course in preparation for launch. Now over to Mississippi, where our Archimedes test stand is ready for hot fire at NASA Stennis. All the major concrete and steel construction work is complete, and commissioning of the locks, cold flow systems is underway. We're on track for the stand to support an engine by the end of March. After that, we'll really start to see some fire, which will be good. And on the Neutron production infrastructure, in Q4 we announced we're establishing a space structures complex in Middle River, Maryland, in the former Lockheed Martin Vertical Launch Building. This facility will be home to the development and production of a wide range of large composite structures and products for both launch and space systems, including Neutron. Just a couple of months after taking over the building, we've readied the facility to accept and install the large-scale production equipment, including our automated fiber placement machine, which is really the key to rapid, repeatable production of Neutron's composite structures. So across the board, we've reached some really critical milestones on our journey to first Neutron launch over the past quarter and a bit. Now we're at the pointy end of the development program where all the hardware, systems and infrastructure start to integrate, culminating in Neutron's first launch. Currently, our schedule closes for this by the end of 2024, and we do have a track record for delivering programs faster than typical industry standard timelines. But we'll know more about how close to the schedule and timeline we are, and we can hold once Archimedes breathes fire and we complete a couple of other major tests. So we'll have an update on that soon. And then now back to small launch. We had a strong start to the quarter, so far with 2 successful Electron missions. These included a dedicated launch for Aspire Global and North Star, as well as a really complex and unique mission for Astroscale. The mission launched a satellite designed to rendezvous on orbit with an old derelict Japanese rocket stage. The purpose was to demonstrate the ability for a satellite to closely follow and monitor a non-cooperative object in space, with a view to understanding how satellites might be able to dock with pieces of space junk in the future and drag them back to Earth, and obviously reduce orbital debris and increase space sustainability. Now, I don't think many people really realize just how wildly ambitious and challenging that mission was for our team. It's difficult enough to rendezvous 2 items in space that talk to each other, like an astronaut capsule and the ISS. They're both communicating with each other, and they know where everybody is, where each relevant, object is. But in the case of a derelict rocket stage, it offers no data on its location, speed, tumble rates, all of these things you really, really need to know to approach something in space. So to put Astroscale spacecraft into exactly the right place at the right time to rendezvous with the stage, a GNC team demanded highly accurate orbital insertion with tighter margins than required on just about any missions. The exact T0 was only able to be defined a day prior to the launch and required an LTAN accuracy of only plus or minus 15 seconds. I should note that the GNC team was able to deliver that accuracy to within 1.05 seconds, so 15 times better than the spec that was required. The team delivered perfect bullseye. The spacecraft was deployed to exactly the right location, and they were able to contact the spacecraft and prepare to start commissioning it with only minutes after launch. It's this level of tailored mission design, and that simply is just not possible on rideshare missions, and why demand for Electron continues to grow. With 2 launches down, we have 2 more to complete this quarter, including a mission for Synspective from LC1 on March 9 UTC, followed by a dedicated launch for the National Reconnaissance Office on March 20 UTC from LC2 in Virginia. The missions are a testament to the trust and value of our customers' place in Electron, since this will be Electron's 4th launch for Synspective and 5th launch for the NRO. It will, however, be our first NRO launch from US soil, so we're excited to demonstrate responsive launch capability for the DoD on 2 continents. Not only did we launch 2 missions from Q1 so far, but we brought an Electron back too. We recovered Electron's first stage from the Spire mission in January, bringing it back for an ocean recovery. Electron's recovery process has been iterative, enabling us to make small modifications and improvements to the stage and marine recovery process without causing a slowdown on the rocket production line, enabling us to keep increasing Electron's launch cadence. Generally, a program like this would cause a lengthy pause in production to allow for design freezes and production changes. But by taking small steps on each flight, we've been able to continue delivering the launch service to our customers and the one that they rely on. Happily, this process has yielded successful results. The January mission saw Electron come back in the best condition yet. The stage is currently undergoing hydrostatic testing to determine if we're comfortable to put it back on the pad. The next milestone for the recovery program is to fly a mission with 9 pre-flown Rutherford engines. You remember that we successfully relaunched a single Rutherford engine late last year, so now we're going to put all 9 of them and through their paces. So keep an eye out for that milestone coming. Right, on to some of the key highlights for our space systems since the end of Q1. And just last week, we achieved a world first, successfully re-entering a capsule from orbit that was used to manufacture pharmaceutical products in space. We designed and built and operated the spacecraft for Varda Systems Industries to host their in-space manufacturing capsule. Launched in June last year, the spacecraft was initially designed to operate in orbit for around 4 months before being deorbited into the Utah desert. However, lengthy delays in regulatory approvals to bring the spacecraft home meant that we ended up on orbit for more than 8 months, and in a testament to both our spacecraft builders and operators that performed flawlessly for that extended duration. Now, operating a spacecraft is one thing, but bringing it home and landing it within a tiny designated area is quite another. Our team managed 24/7 flight operations, conducted multiple engine burns, and carrying out real-time trajectory calculations and adjustments to set the capsule on a course for the Utah testing and training range. For context, the margin of error is less than 0.05%, and if an engine burn is even a fraction of a second too long or too short, you end up hundreds of miles away from your designated landing zone. This is typically the stuff of huge government programs and decades of development. The only other company to successfully re-enter a capsule from orbit for a purely commercial mission is our friends over at SpaceX. So we've joined a very elite club and on our first attempt. This mission was the first of 4 missions that we have booked for Varda, and the next spacecraft is built and ready for launch in the middle of the year. Excitingly, the lessons we've learned on this program are helping inform future projects, including scientific sample returns, point-to-point cargo delivery, and of course, human spaceflight capability on Neutron in the future. So on that note, before I hand it over to Adam to talk through the financial highlights and outlook, it's a fitting time to share an update on our wider spacecraft programs. In 2020, we launched our very first Rocket Lab built satellite called Photon. It was really a defining moment for the business, a line in the sand where we became an end-to-end space company, not just a launch provider. Since then, we've had the privilege of developing, launching, and operating spacecraft for a broad range of customers, and they've all told us the same thing. They need a reliable, highly capable spacecraft, built quickly, affordably, and at scale. And we've done this. We've developed a spacecraft that has delivered a successful mission to the moon for NASA. We've developed twin spacecraft for a mission to Mars. We're building constellations of half-ton spacecraft for SDA and MDA. And of course, we've proven spacecraft re-entry capability now too. As we've delivered more and more successful spacecraft missions, demand for these spacecraft or similar variants on them has grown. So we've expanded beyond Photon to create a full family of standard spacecraft buses. So allow me to formally introduce Lightning, Pioneer, Explorer, and of course the original Photon. Lightning is our newest spacecraft bus designed for a 12-year plus orbital lifespan in LEO. It utilizes electric propulsion, delivers high power and radiation tolerance, and incorporates full redundancy in all critical subsystems. This is a half-ton, 3-kilowatt bus, ideal for communications, imaging, and remote sensing. Then there's Pioneer, a highly configurable platform designed to support large payloads and unique mission profiles, including re-entry. For interplanetary missions, there's Explorer, a high Delta V spacecraft with around about 1 kilowatt of power, large propellant tanks, and precision orbit determination system, ranging transponder, and all the things you need to go into deep space. Explorer enables small spacecraft missions to planetary destinations, near-Earth objects, and Earth-Moon Lagrange points. And of course, Photon is sticking around as the original spacecraft plus launch option. Thanks to our vertical integration strategy, these spacecraft share many common components and subsystems designed and manufactured in-house by us, enabling us to deliver spacecraft quickly, affordably, and reliably using flight-proven components. Each of the spacecraft are currently on order in a range of quantities, with 40-plus satellites currently in our production backlog. So from humble beginnings with one spacecraft just 4 years ago to a full family of them designed to serve commercial and government partners is certainly an exciting time for our space systems business. So that wraps up the key business highlights from Q4 2023 and Q1 this year so far. From here, I'll hand over to Adam to take us through the financial updates. Over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Pete. Fourth quarter 2023 revenue was $60 million, in line with our revised guidance provided on January 31st, 2023, but below the low end of our original Q4 guidance in November, due primarily to the push out of one of our planned fourth quarter launches, which was due to the longer than anticipated September anomaly remediations. Fourth quarter revenue represented a sequential decline of 11.3% due to the reduction of launches from 3 in Q3 to 1 in Q4, partially offset by continued growth in our space systems business. On a full year basis, 2023 revenue was $244.6 million, with impressive growth of approximately 16% year on year, especially when taking into consideration the effect of September's Electron anomaly. Our launch services segment delivered revenue of $8.5 million in the quarter from one launch, which is above our targeted average selling price of $7.5 million and consistent with our revised guidance of $8.5 million. Our current aggregate Electron backlog reflects an average selling price of $8.1 million, and we're encouraged by a funnel of new business that is consistent with this pricing level. On a full year basis, launch delivered revenue of $71.9 million, or an increase of 18.5% year on year. Our space system segment delivered $51.5 million of revenue in the quarter, which was up 11.2% sequentially and in line with our revised guidance of $50.5 to $52.5 million, with sequential growth driven by our MDA satellite bus contract, as well as growth in our component businesses. On a full year basis, space systems delivered revenue of $172.7 million, or an increase of 14.9% year on year. Turning to gross margin, GAAP gross margin for the fourth quarter was 25.8%, in line with our revised guidance of 24.8 to 26.8%, while non-GAAP gross margin for the fourth quarter was 32.3%, which was in line with our revised guidance of 31.4 to 33.2%. GAAP and non-GAAP gross margin performance reflects improved mix in both our merchant component and satellite manufacturing businesses, partially offset by the effect of less overhead absorption in our launch business due to only one Electron launch in the quarter. We ended Q4 with total production-related headcount of 852, up 36 from the prior quarter. Turning to backlog.
All right, real quick, guys. This call is super boring. Let me know in the chat. Should I end it and we just talk markets for the next 20 minutes and we end the call here? I mean, I think we got the gist out of the call. I think this call is like another 30, 40 minutes. Let me know in the chat. I need to see enough people that are like, all right, end the call. And if you really care about Rocket Labs, you can probably go to another channel and we'll just talk markets. Let me know in the chat.
Or $542.5 million, thanks primarily to the $489 million base portion of December's $515 million SDA beta award.
Okay. Heard you guys loud and clear. Yeah, fuck this call, dude. This shit was so boring. Oh my God. It's been some of these earnings calls have just not lived up to the hype. It's been boring. It's been so boring. Yesterday was so boring. What did we listen to yesterday? I don't even remember the name. That's how boring it was. It was something. It was boring. And then this one, look, I'm supposed to be inspired by space. And I was not inspired, dude. I was not. I mean, like, this is my thing. This is why we have to be so grateful for Palantir. When Carp talks, you could know nothing about Palantir. But if you were listening to that earnings call, or better yet, watching it, I have no idea why these companies just don't have a video feed and like we could actually see the people talk. Like, you see this random guy with this crazy hair, he's talking, and you're like, at least I'm interested. This shit is so boring, dude. If I ever run a public company, I'm going to have the most interesting earnings call on the planet. By the way, what I'm thinking of doing either end of March or early April is I'm planning to have my own earnings call for like me, the brand, Amit. And we're going to do it on this channel. And I have a funny way of thinking of how I'm doing it. I have like all these thoughts in my head, but we're going to have our own live streamed earnings call. People can call in, ask questions, and I'm going to be presenting my Q1 2024 results as a creator. That's what we're going to do. And so I think it'll be actually fun. I think it'll be cool. I want to get a white shirt and I want to get like a table and I want it like a, I want to have something I can bang on at the end. It's going to be so fucking cool, dude. It's going to be fun, but we'll see. We'll see if I can figure it out. Probably by end of March, we'll do it. Your YouTube metrics, Twitter, just overall growth. And then you guys know I'm launching a software. We'll probably you guys are going to see all the growth of that software. If it grows, if it doesn't grow. So you'll see all the metrics on that like mini SaaS business. And then like stock market gains. Like we're just going to show everything for Q1 Amit, the human, the brand, the whatever you want to call the LLC that I like, Amit LLC, whatever. That'll be the earnings call. It'll be fun. It'll be super fun. So, because there's a lot of announcements. By the way, all right, one other thing, and then we'll talk about some of the markets. So I got an email today. Remember that? Remember when I was on Friday? In the morning when I was stuttering in the morning because I got in a DM by someone that was very important, and I couldn't believe that I got that DM. Well, today I got the follow-up email from that DM to confirm what was proposed in the DM is going to be happening. And I'm not going to have to travel to California. I said I was going to have to go to California. I actually am able to just go to New York, which is an hour away, which is way better for me. And whatever I said, what was going to happen, seems like it's happening, and it's going to be happening at the end of March in New York. Now, I'm not saying what it is. I can't say what it is. No, the interview for Reddit was today. They called me today. She just wanted to get my thoughts from TechCrunch. She interviewed me for like 10 minutes. But the thing that's happening in New York in March has basically been confirmed today via email, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be super fun. So we got that announcement. We got the software that's launching. Then we have the other big thing I told you guys that I can't say anything about legally, but that's going to be out. So I think there's so many things in March. Then we have a ton of January, February stuff that happened. And basically, we're going to do a whole Q1 earnings for me as the brand, because if I'm building this whole thing in public, why don't we do an entire Q1 earnings showing you guys everything I'm doing in public? I feel like that's what we got to do. So it'll be fun, and I'm going to get a tight white shirt, and we're going to do that. Fuckbucker says, I'll be your bodyguard. Dude, if I go to New York that day, I got to hit you up, and we got to get lunch or something in New York. Low key, we should do a New York meetup. I'm sure a lot of people that know me are in New York. So we gotta do it. Ian says, Amit, hello. Thank you for taking my call from England. I was excited to hear your energy about the future. Can you talk more about your bromance with Carper? Is he stalking you? Oh my gosh. I think it'll be fun. I think Amit earnings will be fun. But yeah, dude, I think we should do a New York meetup. I don't know how we would organize it, but I'm so close to New York, so we could definitely organize something. But Fudd, I'm gonna hit you up and we should meet together in New York. What's your company name? So legally, my company name is A Kukraja Consulting LLC. Like that's how I run my business. But in general, I don't have like a company name for like Amit brand. I probably should make one soon, but yeah, we'll figure that out. So yeah, I think I'll do an earnings like that. And in terms of Rocket Lab, right now they are down a bit after hours. I don't know why the earnings was that bad, but okay. The reason I brought up Carp is because this is why a CEO that actually is charismatic and can talk and communicate is so important. That call was so boring. I don't even see the CEO. Like, I don't know why I should care about space. Like you're operating in space, dude. Space is incredible. It's this domain. It should give you motivation and inspiration. Like space is something that should be so fun. And it was just so boring. And so it's like, you got to be super grateful when you have someone like Carp that can actually talk in a way that makes you excited. I mean, I think we take it for granted because most companies don't have that. And it just makes you more grateful for the fact that, you're invested in a company that does, and you get more excited for the earnings. Meeting with Carp. It's not meeting with Carp. It's not meeting with Carp. I can't say it, dude. I don't want to say it. I think actually I'm probably allowed to say it, but I don't want to say it. So I can't say it. It's not Carp. Maybe one day we'll do Carp. I think one day we'll get Carp, but it's not Carp. It's someone else, but it's super cool. It'll be fun. You said you're not excited about space anyway. Yeah, but like if Peter Beck You know, we could see a video of him, who's the CEO of Rocket Labs, and he could say, we are a transformational company that is fundamentally altering the way that the world will approach, the way the governments and commercial entities will approach the idea of space, right? Something that gets me excited. Whereas Karp, what did he start off with his earnings call? You know, he said, our growth is bombastic. The demand for AI is something like I've never seen. Governments across the world will need our product. You know, it's like, it inspires you. It gets you excited at the end of the day. And that's not what I had. That's not what I had from this Rocket Lab dude. And also, dude, space is just, I think there's going to be a ton of dilution in Rocket Lab. It's not a bear case. It's just, I think there's dilution. I think space is complicated. I think it's very hard to build a profit. There's no AI. So the market's not that excited about it. So I'm just like, I don't know why people are that excited about Rocket Labs. If you're excited about this shit at $2 billion, you're holding it for a long time, dude, to get something out of it. And it could run, but like on a fundamental basis, I think you would need to hold it for a while because there's not that many catalysts there. And there's SpaceX as well. Right? So that's it. It's not Courtney. It's not Courtney. Could you imagine if it was Courtney? Like my YouTube audience wants to, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why do I care? She would be like, what is going on here? Rocket Labs missed a little bit on earnings, fully expected, still bullish. Yeah, I think definitely still bullish. It's just more of a long-term story on Rocket Lab. All right, let's look at some of these equities after hours. Let's go to Bitcoin, 56,944 on Bitcoin, Ethereum 3264, SoFi down a little bit after hours, but 7.14% on the day. Whereas Robinhood 1632, it's up 0.4% after hours. Guys, I think the cat's out of the bag. 1635. I think people figured out Robinhood. I think they did. And let me show you guys a tweet today. So there's this account on Twitter that you guys probably don't know about. The only reason I know about it is because my boy Mateo introduced me to this account. This is one of the biggest crypto accounts on Twitter. And it's not a crypto account that's like pumping Bitcoin news or anything like that. It's a personality. It's just a dude. And he's just like a cool dude. And he just tweets like he's a normal guy. And like he'll say hi and he'll get 1 million views, dude. Like his Twitter account is like, it's goated. Let me show you this tweet. He put out this tweet today, and the responses underneath it were very interesting. Okay, so let me show you this. Okay, here we go. I'll put the tweet in the chat if you guys want to follow him. But here's what he said today. Oh, where's Beyond, by the way? Where's Beyond? It was up 100% last time I checked. I have no idea why that thing is up. Yeah, it's up 70-80%. I think people are buying, and the shorts are getting scared that people are buying, and so they're covering the shorts, which is causing the gamma squeeze here. But that's up 79%. Okay, so look at what he said today. Robinhood chart looks like Coinbase at 85. Now, notice, dude, this guy did not have to do the cash tag hood. He did not have to cash tag coin. He didn't have to like adjust the algorithm. 60,000 views. Like this guy's account is like, he has 213,000 followers. He tweets anything and he gets views. Like it's one of those accounts. So look at what people. So he said, now he's a big crypto guy. This guy, I don't know if you guys know about this cryptocurrency called WIF, WIF. This is a meme coin that has gone up like 17,000%, and I'm not joking about it. Like it went from 0.000001 to like 50 cents. He got big into WIF, so he's developed a bit of a community around that. A lot of people made a lot of money off that. I personally know people that have made a lot of money off that. I wouldn't chase that thing because it's a meme coin, but the point is, he's been in crypto for a while, made a lot of money off Coinbase. His argument is Robinhood looks like Coinbase at 85. Someone said they're issuing massive share dilution. I said, no, they're not. They bought back 55 million shares, but a lot of comments agreed. And these are big people that are in crypto and crypto stocks. That's his audience. And people are like, yo, I bought calls the other day. Robinhood at $13 billion market cap is criminal. Will be repriced to at least $100 billion in the coming years. Bought calls this morning. Like when you see this type of qualitative due diligence, you're like, oh shit, a lot of people are buying. This. And then another big account today tweeted about Robinhood, Shardy B. I don't know if you guys know this one. She's one of the biggest trading accounts I respect on X. She has like what does she have? She has 229,000 followers. This woman makes like $80,000 every month. Like it is, and she posts her gains and she shows proof. Like it is ridiculous. I think she has to be playing with $10-20 million that she's trading with every day. And she's riding Hood as well. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are in this. Colin says Ansem endorsement is huge. Okay, so you guys know this guy. You guys know this Ansem dude. I don't know him. I've recently found him, but yeah, he's excited about it. I think a lot of people are waking up to Robinhood. That's what I'm trying to say. And I still think it's undervalued because imagine crypto at 70 or 80 grand at Bitcoin. Robinhood's going to be printing money, and it's a $13 billion company. That's profitable. Netflix is up 2.39% today. Netflix is at 600 for the first time since 2021. Wow. Look at that. Netflix. Yeah, Futtbucker. Netflix is breaking out. Netflix is breaking out, up 2.39%. Do we add these guys to Magnificent Seven? Since they were FANG, but then they got ousted from the Mag 7. Mag 7 right now, Nvidia's up a little bit. They were down for the day. Tesla, 199. Amazon, 174. Meta, 47, trying to get to that 490 range again. Microsoft, 406. Apple, 182. Again, Apple's up because they're stopping their electric car ambitions. And then Google, 140, up about 1% on the day. Oh, Dogecoin as well. Dude, Dogecoin was up today. Dogecoin is up 11%. That's big on Robinhood because I think the majority of people buy Dogecoin on Robinhood. I know Coinbase is there, but like the majority do buy it on Robinhood. And so that's sweet, juicy income for Robinhood. That's up 9% today. It was up 11% at one point. So that's big as well. Apple wants to make a ring. Yeah, I saw that. Apple's trying to make like hardware. They want to put cameras in your AirPods. I was just like, can y'all get the Vision Pro right first? Like, it's a tough situation to be for Apple, dude. It's a tough situation. You really got to get people that are bullish on the Vision Pro and spatial computing. And I don't know what the numbers look like, but from what I understand, the hype is dying down and a lot of people are returning it. And most people are like not spending $4,000 on that. So yeah, I don't get it. Get cameras in your earpods. I have no idea why Apple is trying to do this, but that was the rumor that was going around. That's what they're thinking of. They're also thinking of enhancing the watch in a totally like they're thinking of doing a lot of different wearables. Yeah, look at this. So here's the report. Apple is thinking of a ring, which I think an Apple ring would actually do phenomenal. Reportedly discuss ideas including a smart ring and glasses and putting tiny cameras on AirPods. Look, a ring would be really cool. I think a lot of people would like wearing an Apple ring, especially if it told you about like your health and your sleep and all this shit. I think an Apple ring, dude, they could probably charge $200 for that ring. Make it for like what, like $7-8 probably when you do mass production. They could get it because people would wear the ring just for the stylish sort of appeal of the ring. Like rings are cool, dude. I have so many Amazon rings for like $2. I don't wear them anymore, but like rings are cool. I think if Apple had a ring, that would actually do well. But they're trying to figure out different avenues for growth now. Given iPhone growth is not the best. And again, if they implement AI throughout the iPhone and they do AI at the edge and they make it kind of really cool, maybe that's a reason to upgrade. But outside of that, I don't know. Coinbase was up 7.2% on the day. Coinbase at $200 after hours. We haven't seen Coinbase at $200 in a very long time. Now, the thing about Coinbase and Robinhood, Coinbase is now up from $30. So it's up more than 6x. I'm not saying it can't keep going. If Bitcoin keeps going, it probably will. Robinhood was at $8. It's not, well, yeah, now 1638 after hours. It's officially up 100% from the lows, but it's only worth $14 billion. It still has not really run like Coinbase. Now, granted, I think Robinhood might take a breather. Okay, like this is a big run. I think it might relax a little bit. The thing is, if Bitcoin keeps going, Robinhood's not relaxing because the street wants exposure. I said this on the morning open. The street wants small caps that are profitable that have a catalyst. And I think Robinhood fits that definition. I think CleanSpark. I don't know if CleanSpark's profitable, but I think they fit that definition. HIMS fits that definition. Their catalyst is just growth. When you're growing 86% year over year, boom, that's your catalyst, right? You don't need like something macro. And then SoFi fits that catalyst. They don't have SoFi fits that description. They don't have the best catalyst, but they're just so undervalued in my opinion compared to where they should be trading at. And these are the companies that are going to get some momentum. Amit, what happens if Bitcoin goes back to 50K? Would Hood go to 14? Dude, Hood's going to 12 if Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, 50. I thought you said 40. Yeah, if Hood goes to 50, I think Robinhood's probably going to 13. I think that would definitely happen. And I think that could very well happen before the halving event. Absolutely, that could happen. But it all depends on Bitcoin. You got to remember, Robinhood makes 0.35% off every dollar on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is up 4% in the past 3 days. Yeah, a lot of people started trading that on Robinhood, which means their crypto revenues and their crypto notional volumes went up. So it's not rocket science, dude. It feels like there's some big thing. It's just simple. That goes up, this goes up because the street expects more revenue, and they're right about that. So if Bitcoin goes down, even though that's actually good for Robinhood because they'll still make money on the trading, it's not good, in the short term because people will, not buy as much. And so, they'll make less money. So if it goes down, I would expect Robinhood to move with Bitcoin down, but it would be in preparation for the halving event, which is going to send this thing going back up as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jeremy says, this is what happens after time. Eventually people become interested in other things. Yeah, that's true, dude. The NVIDIA hype now, look, NVIDIA had a great earnings, but the stock's up 60% year to date. The alpha might not be there. And now you got to depend. You have to sort of rely on the hodlers of the NVIDIA stock to just hold it and go to sleep and not worry about it anymore. Oh, let me show you guys options activity today. Or sorry, derivatives activity today. It was pretty hefty around Tesla, Apple, NVIDIA, Robinhood, and Palantir. So as you can see right here, Tesla had 1.6 million contracts, Apple 989,000, NVIDIA 836, SoundHound 389, Palantir 289, Robinhood 277, and Palo Alto Networks 417. So contracts are up. All of these are like 60-40 calls to puts. Some of them 70-30 calls to puts. So a lot more options volume betting, derivatives volume betting on calls for a lot of these companies. And so that's why it's going up. When does it halve? April. Hold on. Bitcoin halving countdown. 57 days. Here you go. 57 days. April 25th. That's when they imagine it. I want to pull up a chart. Bitcoin chart after halving events. Let me pull this up. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. So look at this. Look at this thing right here. So this is the price after halving. Did you guys see this? Yeah, historically. So, okay, so let's look at this. There have been, so a halving event happens every 4 years. So last time it happened was May 2020, then July 16, then November 2012. Okay, so November 2012, Bitcoin was at below $20, okay? After the halving, by 2014, it went up to $700. Okay, then it came all the way back down to about 100 by 2015. Then 2016, you had the next halving, and it went up to 600. So that was up 6x. Then in 2017, So it stayed flat to like 600 in 2016. Then you had the halving at the end of 2016 in July, so mid 2016. Then in 2017, do you guys remember this? When it went up to 21,000, I was in my macroeconomics class when I saw this happening. That's how I downloaded Coinbase. I was like, shit, I need some Bitcoins. So I downloaded Coinbase, and it went to 20,000. Then we saw it fall, right? And then May 2020. Oh, sorry. Then 20,000. Then it went down. And then halving again happened in May 2020. And then it went up to 70,000, basically 69,000, right? So it went from 20,000 down to 3,000 by COVID time. COVID was basically stuck at 3,000 to 7,000. And then the halving event was May 2020, May 11th. Then it went up to 61,000. So the point is, if you just take a bare bones look at this chart, after every halving event, there was a parabolic uptrend followed by a downswing. But that downswing had higher highs than the previous downswing because it went up so high after the halving event. So if this halving event happens the same way, which means the amount of inflation of Bitcoin goes in half, instead of 1.8%, inflation goes to 0.9%, which is the only asset on the planet that actually decreases their rate of inflation. We should expect something similar in 2024. And that's why I think ETFs got so excited, and average investors got so excited as well. Futtbucker says, expect Hood to consolidate. Yeah, dude, if Hood can consolidate in the 16s, which by the way, I also learned something today. Let me show you guys this. Because I've heard of this term, but I never really understood it. So I asked the question today to one of my good friends on Twitter, which I recommend everyone follow. Awesome account. The volume shelf on Robinhood. So this is the account. They're called the Crypto Canton Cat. It's a great account. Definitely recommend checking them out. Just put it in the chat. So here we go. So consolidating at 16 is important, but this thing can go. I mean, if you look at the volume shelf right there, above 16, there's very low volume shelf resistance. Now, I asked, what exactly is volume shelf resistance? And it's basically the volume shelf on the right side tells you the prices where most shares traded hands, which, as you can see, from basically $9 to $14, that's where we've had the most volume shelf resistance. So these areas are going to have a lot of price history and can serve as important resistance or support. Now, if we look beyond 16, there's really not that much, because the stock's been depressed for 2 years at $8, volume, shelf, resistance, or support, meaning there is an open basically door for this thing to run as volume comes in above 17. And if Bitcoin moons while that's happening, or Bitcoin's going up as it's doing, it can get pretty wild on Robinhood. So if it can consolidate at the 16, 18 range, and then after the halving event, that pushes it higher because of Bitcoin, that would be something that could happen on Robinhood as well. Also, the crypto rally is waking up a lot of dormant 2021 Robinhood users to use their account again. Yeah, so their MAUs that went up 600,000 by last quarter, they went from 10.3 million to 10.9. So they're still down year over year in terms of MAUs, but the rate of growth has accelerated for those MAUs coming back. Not to mention UK expansion, not to mention the fucking credit card coming out on March 26th, which they're going to make money somehow on the credit card. I mean, I know the basic business model of credit cards, but I think they're going to have sort of a unique play for gold members. There's just more tailwinds. And when a stock has more tailwinds, it can keep going, especially when the tailwind is mixed in potentially one of the greatest crypto bull runs that we've ever seen as well. Alan says Hood calls worth it right now. See, this, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, dude, because it's really dependent on, do you think this thing is going to 25, 30? And I think it is, to be honest, given what's going on with crypto, but I don't know if that's for sure. So it's one of those things where the margin of safety now on buying options is reduced, because even though I think it could go to 30, it's not the same as buying it at 10, right? And so you got to be ready to DCA. If there's a broader market pullback, Robinhood's definitely taking a shit, right? Like if we pull back 10% on the S&P, Robinhood's going back down to 12. That's just going to happen. I think it has enough, I think there's enough people that are there to get those dips, but the algorithms are the algorithms. I mean, the algorithms are on Robinhood's side right now. And so if you buy options, you have to be ready to DCA into them, and you have to be really just willing to deal with it, because if we have a pullback, which I don't necessarily think is going to happen, but anything could happen, then they could definitely go down. NASDAQ is at 16,000. So we're back at close to all-time highs on the NASDAQ at 16,000 right now. AMD 178 on the day. Coinbase as well, $200 after hours. And Lunar is down about 0.37% to end the day. Palantir 2453. Okay, so I didn't get to talk about this. Let's do this last segment. I did my video today on the S&P 500 on Palantir, but let me just give you guys some analysis there for Palantir. So Arnie had a great tweet today. The S&P 500 index is going to be rebalanced on Friday. Rebalanced on Friday. So here we go. S&P 500 inclusion is going to be announced on Friday, potentially for Palantir if the rebalance happens. As you can see, that's going to be happening March 1st. And Palantir could be getting included. Now, a couple things on this, and then we'll end it off. Amit, have you seen the Bitcoin rainbow chart? Yes, I've seen this. Carlos and Vitaly introduced me to that, so I have an understanding of it now. Here's my thoughts on S&P inclusion. I have a couple thoughts on this. Number one, if we get included, we would be the second largest company in the index with the second largest company with the lowest amount of institutional ownership. So most companies on average have 75% institutional ownership in the S&P 500. We are at 41%. So that wouldn't be the best for our odds of getting into the S&P 500. If the committee looks at that and they're like, hey, your stock is too volatile, you don't have enough institutional ownership, you're not going to get included. It's really based on what this committee decides to say. That's a bear case for why we don't get included. The bull case is the committee is like, all right, you fulfilled all the other obligations. So if you fulfilled all the other obligations, then there's no reason to reject you. And then because there's such low institutional ownership at 41%, the toots start buying and this thing starts picking up some volume. So that's one thing that could be happening. The second thing to think of this as is that maybe it's run up already. So after the earnings, the earnings were good. The institutions looked at the earnings. They were like, you know what? This company is going to go to the S&P anyway. We know that this company is doing really well. We know that their earnings are phenomenal. If we know they're going to be in the S&P 500 and we don't have enough exposure, let's just buy the company right now before they eventually get into the S&P 500. So the 50% run up from 16 to 24, that might have been our S&P run. And it's kind of funny because all of us were like, oh, S&P is going to explode the stock. And maybe it happened, but it happened in a way that wasn't like this formal event like Tesla back in 2020. It kind of just happened because institutions knew that they were going to get included and they had a great earnings. And so the run we've had for this whole month was the S&P run. That could also be something that is happening for Palantir. So it's one of the things to kind of think about. I don't know if we're going to get included. Last time Lululemon and Uber were included, I had no idea those companies were being rebalanced. Solar Edge had to leave the index. So some companies will leave, some companies will enter. The committee is going to decide if Palantir deserves to be in it. And if they do, maybe we see some buy-side pressure. Maybe the buy-side pressure has happened and maybe it's just not that intense. Also, someone brought up a good point. We would see a lot of volume going into the S&P inclusion and Palantir volume has died off. Again, maybe that volume happened after their earnings and it's not really happening before the S&P 500. So we might not see that massive breakout just because the S&P 500. All right. And that's it. So that's what we got going there. Palantir right now, 24.59 after hours, 0.37%. And Robinhood 60. Wow. Robinhood's up 1.05% after hours, 16.42. And Palantir is 24.62, up 0.37% after hours. All right. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. Zocol says we need Pelosi to show up and buy Palantir. I said last night on Twitter, I don't think she's buying Palantir because she has such big ties with the government that maybe it's too much of a conflict of interest. Her other conflicts of interest are obvious, but maybe they're not as obvious. Palantir literally is a government contractor. If Pelosi's buying a government contracting stock, maybe it's like really obvious and people would get curious. But maybe not. I mean, who knows, right? My Twitter's in the chat. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter. Put all that stuff, all that due diligence on Twitter. But I think Pelosi one day is going to have to buy Palantir because it's going to be obvious. And if she does, then we're good forever, dude. If Pelosi buys Palantir, we are good forever. By the way, quick thing before I leave. SoFi short report just came out. The shorts have doubled down. Short float on SoFi went up from 17% 2 weeks ago to 17.86%. So the shorts are continuing to short SoFi. Palantir short float went up a little bit, but very slight. Nothing too crazy. But their short float now is a bit higher. Palantir short float, real quick, the numbers are it's actually down 10%. It went down 10%. So last time it was 102 million. It was 112 million. Now it's 102 million. Now it's down from about 6% to 5.54% percentage of the float. Palantir sold short, which is really good. The shorts are like, you know what, we don't want to touch this thing, which is good because that just gives less kind of volatility to the stock and allows more people to buy in, and we don't have to worry too much about the shorts putting the sell side pressure on Palantir. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys on Finance Junkies 9 p.m. And Market Open 8:45 a.m. tomorrow. Love you all. Thank you for being here. It means the world to me. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Market Open 8:45 a.m. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Good night.